Okay, I'm now recording. We tried to record this video before, but the audio had a bit of a malfunction. So here I are again. My name's Izzy and I'm joined here today with Lauren. And we're going to talk a bit about mental health and how this can be promoted during this pandemic. Would you like to introduce yourself a bit?
Hi, I'm Lauren. I'm a University of Derby student studying counsel and psychotherapy, which obviously there's massive hints around in COVID, mental health, an area that I'm very interested in. So this is right up my street.
Yeah. So obviously COVID-19 has presented a lot of challenges for many people because it's such an uncertain time and we can't socialize, we're not in the same routine, and I guess we all have different coping mechanisms. What are some of the ways you stay positive during this time?
So some of my favourite ways is either going out for walks or runs, just generally going outside for exercise, clearing your head, or making some sort of a schedule. So I know sort of day by day, a weekly schedule or a daily schedule of things that I have to get done during the day, whether it be little things or big things during the day, whatever, university lectures, just taking that time out, going for a walk or whatever, doing the laundry, doing the dishes, sort of anything to keep me motivated is sort of keeping everything in order, but sort of mainly exercise or even, socially distance, going out with my friends just for a walk, going to the park, anything, just get outside and get a bit of fresh air.
Yeah, I think it's definitely important to kind of, as we're on our phones doing university lectures, it's definitely important to kind of have an hour's break, have time to go outside, to go on a run, just to take time out, a bit of a detox from all the technology. And as we spoke before, I guess technology here is, it can be a good thing, as you said before, like Zooming friends and family, but also it can take a toll when we use it too much.
Yes, definitely. It's finding that crucial balance in between sort of we're on university lectures, school, even right down to primary school age, people on Zoom calls for the classes, that's their compulsory education. But then also we've got social media, sort of checking, like keeping up with friends, social medias, watching YouTube, watching TV, sort of keeping up with the news, which can be quite daunting. It's very easy to be on screens from the second you wake up to the second you go to bed at night. And it's very easy to just lose track of time during the day. So I think the most crucial bit, especially during COVID and especially during these unprecedented times, whenever we're at home all day, every day, is just to find that balance in between social media and not even social media, just technology being being good for us, being beneficial, being a bonus, but also it being detrimental to mental health. It boosts our mental health by keeping us in contact with the people we love, but also it can, it can be a social media, but it can be some of the most lonely as well, because you are just on a screen, so it can detach you from reality as well.
Yeah, especially with the news all kind of focusing, it's all kind of bad at the moment. Yeah, so also you mentioned before about kind of separating your workspace and your bedroom. Could you explain that again?
Yes. So I was saying how I find that being in a routine, getting up in the morning, perhaps setting an alarm, maybe 9, 10 a.m., getting yourself up out of bed, sort of getting dressed, and then I find that instead of staying in my bedroom, perhaps sitting in my bed doing my lectures, I like to go into the living room or the kitchen so that I've got a separate space, in my head, sort of getting the rooms in the house prioritized into. So my bedroom is where I'm chilling, just like sitting there, I have nothing to do, I'm just relaxing, I'm going to bed, perhaps reading, it's my wind down time, it's my time where I'm calm. And
Yeah.
then kitchen or living room, sort of sitting at the table doing my university lectures, so I know that that's when I need to be productive. As obviously before COVID, we had that separation of you were going out with your friends, you were physically outside, you were in a different environment, or you were in university on campus in lecture halls where you knew you had to be focused because you were seeing the people around you focused and you were in the university campus. Whereas now it's very easy, just to stay in bed all day. You're sitting in your bed doing your lectures, you're sort of watching TV in your bed, you're eating, just like you can just sit on your bed and eat and then just going to sleep as well. So that's quite detrimental to mental health for a lot of people, especially people who either have no previous mental health history of depression, or it can very easily lead into depressive thoughts where you're just in bed all day every day and you're feeling very unmotivated.
Yeah, I think, because obviously our routines are, we're out of routine, and it's very easy to just kind of do lectures in bed. So yeah, I think that's very insightful about the separation of kind of your bedroom being like your downtime, like, reading, obviously going to sleep, watching something, and then moving, doing your university work kind of at the kitchen table, living room. Do you have any tips when you're feeling kind of stressed or overwhelmed, how to kind of manage that?
I find the biggest thing for me is honestly just exercise. It doesn't have to be massive amounts of exercise, even just going out for a small walk, maybe 20 minutes, half an hour, anywhere really can be a nice scenery if you just put your heart into it enough. Like, even if it's just going, obviously I live in Derby City Centre, it's not the nicest place to be in Derby City Centre, but you can find some nice parks. You just go for a little walk, even for half an hour, just to clear your mind, either just in the silence of your own mind, or else put earphones in, just listen to some music. That definitely helps me to sort of take time away. But also that schedule of sort of being up early in the morning, whatever, for a 9 a.m. lecture, but if it's a 9 to 12 lecture, once the lecture's over, just make your final notes, close your laptop, and then go and detox, sort of off your phone, off screens, perhaps go for that walk, or read a little bit, not necessarily a book to do with university, something that's completely aside it. That schedule during the day of having even hour by hour on your schedule of what you're doing, if you've got lectures booked in for the day, if you've got, let's say, an hour taken out that you're going for a walk, and what other time you've got during the day, sort of just schedule, not only a weekly schedule but perhaps a daily schedule could work for people as well, just to keep you in routine, keep you motivated.
Yeah. Would you say you kind of do this schedule first thing in the morning, at night? How would you schedule that?
I've made one myself personally, and I made it because I find that every week with me is quite similar, because I've got my routine lectures at the same time sort of each day during the week, and also because I work a part-time job alongside university as well. I find that sort of, there's a silver lining to that, where yes, it can be quite stressful sometimes having a lot to balance, but it sort of keeps me in routine, where I know that I have the shifts to work during the week, I have my university lectures, and sort of every week is the same for me. So I sort of made it at the start of university, whenever the semester started. But obviously, you could do a weekly schedule, or you could do a daily schedule if you're making little tasks that you have to get done. It's really up to personal preference. I prefer to do mine sort of just in the morning whenever I wake up. I think, right, what all do I have to get done today? Just jot them down, even if it's little tasks, just even washing the dishes or just tidying your room or something. If you write lots of little things down the to-do list, each one you get to tick off gives you a little boost of like, right, okay, I've accomplished it. Like, you can see it all coming together, even if it's little things, it's just little rewards. It doesn't have to be big tasks.
Yeah, I think as much as it is good to stick in a routine, it's also, it's also okay to, have those days where you just don't want to do anything. Because obviously it's very hard to stick in this routine, and it's okay just to have, a day or two not doing anything. Do you ever like reflect on your emotions? Do you ever like write anything down?
Yes, fair enough. It's something that I started doing. It was a sort of New Year's resolution thing I'd started for myself, where I started a little daily diary of, at the end of each day, I'll write down 3 things, which I either like 3 things that I was happy or proud of myself for getting done, or 3 things that sort of motivated me or something I was grateful for. So it's like 3 like massive positive things during the day, and 1 thing that I could have improved during the day, that thought maybe like not necessarily something I didn't get done, but something I could have done slightly better, or could have reacted, like a situation I could have reacted slightly better in. But then at the end of the week, so you have your 3 positives and 1 negative each day, and then at the end of the week you can look back and sort of you can do a weekend review as well and see sort of how well did this week go in relation to last week, and what can I do next week to perhaps make it a bit easier for myself. It's just about self-reflection, but also, as you said, it is important to take some time out. Like, routines are good, schedule's good, but also we are in the middle of a pandemic. Nobody could predict this, so it's very important to be nice to ourselves as well. You can't hold yourself to the same standards which you held yourself to before COVID, because obviously everybody's in the same position. That's definitely something that's very important to remember, is everybody's in the same boat. Everybody's got this overwhelming stress. We don't know what's happening next, with obviously lockdown reviews and tears and people not seeing family and friends. It's very just nobody really knows what's happening next, so it is very important to take time to sort of be kind to yourself and don't hold yourself to too high of standards, because it can be unrealistic.
Yeah, definitely. Would you say this is transferable for like people doing A levels, high school? What kind of tips would you give for, say, a younger audience?
Yes, I definitely think that it is transferable. Obviously, at Christmas, you've seen some family members, like grandparents or aunties or uncles, they were all on FaceTime or Zoom calls, and even having their Christmas dinner, just it was definitely a very different Christmas. But calling, keeping connected via that, but also the whole way down to primary school or nursery. You might have seen some videos maybe on TikTok, Facebook, or whatever, of like even like nursery teachers doing Zoom calls with their classes, even if it's just show and tell, where the children come on FaceTime and show them a teddy or a toy that they have at home. It's definitely the whole way through the life stages. It can be transferable. Everybody's mental health is important. So I'd find definitely for children, perhaps maybe Just Dance or those little like children's dance workouts, not necessarily workouts, but just like fun little dances you can follow along, perhaps if they're on Zoom calls with each other, or if they're doing it with parents or siblings or whatever at home. That could be fun for all ages. Little, like, obviously Just Dance, any like Wii games, that sort of thing, YouTube workouts for children, the whole way up to us, like adolescents, where you're like, it's very focused on influencers, maybe like workout videos, whatever, or adults, like the older ages, just keeping fit, doing any sort of movement at all at home. It's definitely very important when you can't leave the house.
Yeah. Well, thank you. That was very insightful.